change makers, and welcome to The Core, sponsored by Red Apple EdCo. This is your Everything Education podcast. We talk about current events, books to read. We interview education leaders, hear their stories, learn from their biggest lessons, and they share what they wish you knew about what it means to be in education today. I'm your host, Dr. Kia Turner. Buckle up for small seeds of inspiration that can lead to big changes in your classroom practice. Let's take a bite out of today's guest. Hi, everybody. It is Dr. Kia here at the end of day one of TeacherSquared's, Teacher Education Institute 2018, hashtag TEI 2018. Totally forgot that on Twitter, those of you who have been following me all day. Anyway, now that we're at the end of day one, I had to grab some awesome education professionals, doing the work of developing the teachers you're probably interacting with, and sit down with them and just talk about kind of what happened today, why they're continuing in the profession, and what makes this institute awesome. All right, so can we go around and introduce ourselves, ladies? Go ahead. So name and who you're with.
My name is Amira Pierre-Louise. I am the residency director at Relay Graduate School, Newark, and I'm here with two of my fabulous colleagues at different campuses.
Yep, and I'm Bree Wusu. I'm at Relay Nashville, where I'm assistant professor of practice, where I work with our year one team.
And I work across the Hudson River from Amira in New York City. My name is Alicia Reagan, and I am an assistant professor over in the Relay office in New York.
Wonderful. So, ladies, can you tell us, particularly given the high stakes nature of your work, developing new teachers. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about developing new teachers. Each of these ladies is working with the Relay Graduate School of Education to develop teachers who are going to be highly trained and highly effective, which means that from the very beginning, they're held to a really high expectation and provide a lot of support. In fact, Alicia, I think you said you have 50 different teachers you oversee,
I think it ranges,
large group?
Yeah, region by region, anywhere from 30 to 45.
Do you have a large group, and you do as well, of teachers that you're kind of supporting and working with?
Yes.
So given all that you're responsible for, why do you teach? Why do you continue in sort of this education space? And then what causes you to want to develop even more? Not only are you showing up and doing the job every day, you're like, I want to get better and go to a conference and find out how to use data to inform my instruction. What is the reason and what's happening?
The reason I do this work is because of how hard it was for me. My first year was one of those disaster, bottom of the barrel,
whatever you want.
Yeah, it was rough. I was self-contained elementary, and so it was you just had a lot of content, and I just didn't have the resources. And I just remember how I felt, and then I had to dig myself out of that hole, and I had to figure out what I was going to use, what resources, and what I could do. And then at the end of the day, I just didn't want other people to feel like I felt, where it just felt like you were in it by yourself and this is not sustainable. And I feel like this is truly sustainable work if you have your priorities in place from your administration and all of that, but it's also set up for you to continuously improve yourself and know where you're trying to go. And so that's why I go and why I teach. I really love first year beginning teachers, where it's that light bulb comes on, that love comes in, and you really are developing yourself quickly. And so, that's why I do.
I love that. Can either of y'all follow that? Okay, look, that was serious. That was great.
That's a tough one. But it's similar, though, working as a teacher, as a brand new teacher. You ask a brand new teacher, why do you love it? And they're like, I love that light bulb moment where, when my kids get it for the first time. So I think the same rush is what I get with brand new teachers, where you see a new teacher struggle for weeks or months on a skill or a strategy.
Hallelujah.
But then you step into their classroom and you see them do the thing that you've told them to do. And then they do it and they look at you and you're like, you did it. Even it was 30 seconds of a 1 hour class. And then when class is over, they're just like, I did it. Did you see me? I did it. And I'm like, great, now do it tomorrow. And now you'll always do it because you know it worked. And so I think I kind of live for those you did it moments, but on the day-to-day, the everyday, I think we all agree that regardless of what region we're in, the work matters. Teachers need good teachers leading them.
Go ahead and say it.
And I think we all can say that we're at a point in our own professionalism that we're good teachers. And our teachers need good teachers, but we can't be great if we don't come to things like this and do some self-care for ourselves too.
I agree with both my colleagues here. And I think one of the things for me that I would love to add is teaching is hard. And I didn't go through an undergraduate teacher ed program. And many of the teachers that we serve are in that same boat, but yet we are expected to stand in front of our most vulnerable population without enough support or tools to be effective. And our students only get one chance. They get one opportunity, which means we have one opportunity to be the best teacher for them. That's why I do this work in addition to like the two books that we share.
Here's my question then. What are you getting from coming to this particular FYI? And I think I told you guys this with my last vlog. I hadn't heard of TeacherSquared, right? I had no idea that this kind of development was out there, which is the other reason that I feel like sitting down and kind of hearing from people who are going through it is so important. But what is bringing you all to this kind of education institute? Talking about the topic is how to use data to improve new teacher development, right? What is bringing you here to get more training in that? Because, I mean, not for nothing, you're in programs that are already working and you're doing a great job. Look at the number of teachers you're able to like support effectively and continue to put in front of kids. So what's drawing you?
So for me personally, I actually had the pleasure of learning from our facilitators when I was a graduate student. They were also my instructors. And so
you had a previous relationship.
I did a little bit, but what it was as a facilitator of adult learning, I selfishly wanted to see two really strong adult facilitators facilitate adult learning. That was a huge motivator for me. In addition to learning how to like look at data sets and extract trends and analyze different very tiny teacher skills, I selfishly wanted to see two just really strong adult facilitators.
And they are.
In a room of teachers and educators from every context under the sun and continents.
And continents. We have multiple continents.
And navigate it just seamlessly. And we all teach teachers from different charter schools, public schools, district schools, elementary, high school, you name it. And we have to do it seamlessly. And seeing someone do it is just a good model for me. So that was kind of my number one like incentive.
I like that. I didn't even think about that as a takeaway from this, but it totally was a really good model for what facilitating adult learning should look like. So shout out to Casey and Leon today for holding it down.
It's like you're still growing as a professional in this work. And so like in my experiences, like I've coached like 10 and then you coach 20 and then you coach 30. And then as the numbers go up and you get to like 50 or whatever it is, it's just about how can I do this more effectively and more efficiently. So I'm not up late trying to figure out what's going on with you. Is there like systems I can build and pre-plan? Because I think a part of this work, to me, is important now with 2 kids, is burnout and sustainability. And so I have to figure out better systems to make sure I continue to do this work at the level I want to do it. Because I know if I can't do the work at the quality I want to do it, then I don't need to do the work. And so like that's something I need to figure out.
That's a tweetable. Did y'all hear that? If I can't do the work at the level that I want to do it, then I don't need to do the work.
Or at the level our kids deserve.
I love that. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, just as a teacher, like you should never stop learning. You should never believe that.
Because I love that. It's so true.
And you should never believe that, regardless. Like I've been in the profession for 15 years.
Okay.
You know, like, I'm not a master at
Are we
anything.
all over 10 years in here? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead,
We're all in double digits.
You should always learn how to best support your scholars or your teachers, so then model that for them and how they can best support their scholars as well.
With that in mind, though, what is one thing that you all, and you can agree or be disparate on this, but like what's one thing you're seeing in your practice that excites you? So thinking about the work you're doing every day with teachers and the development that you're able to attend and kind of the outcomes you're getting, what's one thing you're seeing that you are like, I'm so glad to see this coming. This is really working, or bring it on. It's going to work when it gets here.
I think alignment. It's like I know the content more, but it's also I want it to live. So it's not just having buckets of core content, and then you have content, and then it's like there's some cultural pieces. But I want it to live in that I build real relationships with my people so I can leverage them. But then I also want to know the content well enough so I'm making constant connections. Going back to your point about adult facilitation, I want to do it where it's people's time doesn't feel wasted and you actually see results. And so I think that as much as I can have like consistent messages and I'm clear on what my points are, not wasting time, I think that serves everybody.
I think for me, it's what like really excites me, and one of the reasons why I joined Relay was being able to like codify and name very nuanced and specific strategies that we can then teach a teacher like how to do the very next day. You know, I started the same way, and alternate route teaching fourth grade, had no idea what I was doing. And I actually had one of my co-teachers tell me one day, she was a veteran teacher, and I was like, how do you write lesson plans? I had no clue. And she said to me, I don't get paid to teach that.
And
we're
sorry,
ma'am.
Sure
from
do.
that point,
sorry, I asked for help.
Motivated me to try to learn as much as I can. And it was a lot to try to learn on my own. And I think we as an institution, we've found a way to name those things for teachers and teach them where it's automatically and immediately applicable the next day.
I think something that makes me really proud, both to be a secondary science educator. Oh, those people. I was like, I'm talking to this lady. It makes me proud not only to be a secondary science educator, but also makes me proud of my teachers is that I think the necessity of equity is on the front of people's minds. And it's that some students perform differently and better and worse than others for a variety of reasons, whether it's I struggle to communicate what I know, or my cultural background tells me that I communicate in class differently than the student sitting next to me, or it dictates that I don't look at you in the eye because it's a sign of respect. And if I look at you in the eye, it's a sign of disrespect. So don't tell me to look you in the eye. So I think just very the nuances of students' cultures and families and backgrounds and linguistic diversities, I think is something that we as an institution keep at the forefront of our minds, but that our teachers are now, it's becoming second nature to them. And that makes me really proud that not only just diversity is being recognized, but how it dictates equity or inequity. I would love to see a world where we don't have to talk about this anymore. And so I don't know if that'll come in our lifetime, but I'm proud that we're talking about it as much as we are and acting on it.
Okay, last thing, because y'all, FYI, and not for nothing, we got to get ready to go to dinner. I just give you the facts, and that's why you come and hang out with me. Okay, so what is one resource if a teacher could not be here? If they haven't, y'all know this is my personal soapbox. As a teacher who didn't have access to good development, while I was in the classroom, what is one resource for educators who could not be here that they could definitely use or consider using that would help push their practice? And you can think in terms of the lens we're using here at this institute as far as data to inform decision making, or you could just think in general, here is something that good teachers should know.
I have two that have been helpful for me. The one for this session today is pivot table. Didn't know what they were. Kind of didn't help me in the session. I grabbed Cole, and Cole showed me how to do it in Excel. So pivot tables, you actually know what you're doing. It was okay, I can break this down. And then I started doing more error analysis from the book Good Habits, Great Readers, or whatnot. They just do a step level analysis where you use your error, and so that's really helpful that I've been using to train people.
What's the name of that book again?
It's Great Habits, Great Readers.
Great Habits, Great Readers. Okay.
And so they have an Excel chart. It's an Excel chart where you track what students know how to do in terms of fluency. And I was like, I can do that with my teachers. Which teachers know how to do this and know how to do this? And I only track what they don't know how to do. So then as I look at my tracker, it's about clearing away the X's. So I'm not worried about everything else. I'm just who doesn't know how to do 2 CFUs? Fix that, get it off my thing. So then I can have a smaller group of targeted skills.
And that's for reading?
Yes.
Does that work for STEP and F and P, regardless of the assessment?
I know. I feel like everybody.
This is so good.
I'll be putting the Amazon link down below for all of us.
With the affiliate.
There you go. There you go.
One of my favorite tools for, I think, your science teacher audience, I love the Ambitious Science Teaching website. It's actually nothing from here. It's just a love of mine. It was created by the University of Washington and their teacher educator program, and they focus on the cognitive work of developing conceptual models and explanatory diagrams and drawings. And it's teaching teachers how to access kids' thinking in a non-linear way. So showing kids this crazy phenomenon that happens in everyday life, and then teaching an entire unit around teaching kids how to explain this one weird, crazy thing. And it's just a totally different way of teaching kids content that's not in a vacuum or a formula or an equation, but actually just really, really relevant. And I love it. So it's called Ambitious Science Teaching. If you Google it, it'll pop up. There's videos. It's all free. It's good stuff.
Thank you. That was the first time for us having a science resource of any type on the blog. We moving up. Diversification.
I think for me, me, and I promise you this is not a plug, but if for any reason you don't have a Relay campus in your area, to learn some of those like nuanced techniques and strategies that are applicable the next day, I would definitely suggest getting the book Get Better Faster as a tool if you are a coach, or even if you just want to be reflective of your own practice. It outlines for you a continuum of like novice teachers and where they should be at different stages of their development for the course of the year, and can provide like very specific nuanced feedback to support that teacher's growth.
I love that. Okay, so if anyone would like to reach out to you ladies with questions about Relay, questions about how to support teachers, no shame and no shade, okay? If you need help, go ahead and reach out for it. Or questions about how to deliver better science instruction in general, because science teachers need help. Whole other blog post. How can they get in contact with you?
So I think if you're curious just about the organization or the institution, relay.edu is the place to go. That's like the bank for information. And if you're interested in the type of programs we offer or certifications.
They also do PD.
We do, or what regions we're in. We're currently in 16 different regions across the country. So if you're anywhere near any of those regions, definitely hit up the website. I think personally, like if you want to hit me up, like you can send me a direct message on. Probably my LinkedIn would be the best route. It's just Alicia Reagan. My headshot looks like this.
Spell Alicia for us.
It's Alisha. My last name is Reagan, not the president. No E's, all A's. It's RAGAN.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I was going to say relay.edu as well. And you can either hit me up at my Relay email as well. It's Amira. Actually, it's not Amira. It's A for Amira Pierre-Louis, PIERRE -LOUIS @relay.edu.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Bree Wusu, and it's a silent letter. So it's BRI, and Wusu is NWOSU. Look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you for sitting down, ladies. Goodbye, you guys, from day one. I appreciate it.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to The Core. Wherever you are listening to us, be sure to like our show, subscribe, and share the episode that's meant the most to you. We appreciate every single one of our subscribers, as do our sponsors. We look forward to seeing you next week. You can also check us out on YouTube at Red Apple Edco if you'd like to see more video of these conversations. We have them posted there.